Christianity does not get its flowers because, even people who don't believe in God every so often always come back to appreciate, the fact that a society that believes in God, at least the way Christians believe it, is a much better society than any other. I was actually listening to Rory Sutherland's book, and then he was talking about I think he did mention that it's not someone who is a fan of God as it were, but then he talked about certain things that that Christianity brings about, some of the byproducts of Christianity that for example, people who are believers stay married for longer, better security for the kids, better security for the families, like the structure of the Christian family, the structure of the Christian, life. People who go to church have a generally better life than people who don't. And when you look at all of this, I think the way he put it was, if there was a drug that gave all the benefits that Christianity gave to society, it would be recommended by the Ministry of Health. For black women. He said it, something like that. But then you see, it's unfortunate that Christianity gets a lot of bad rap. People get to talk down on it and a lot of it is because they do not really understand. A lot of the times people talk about the West, talk about the US and how these places are becoming less religious, and by that they mean less Christian. But then when you look at some of these places, you see that the fabric of their culture, they are more Christian than they know it. Of course, they do not, they don't believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, which is really what makes a person a Christian. But they have Christian cultures to a large extent, tolerance, some of these ideas. And again, you could make the argument that these nations did better when they believed in God wholeheartedly. Because look at the United States as it is today. When you look at some of the critical moments, you see the role Christianity played in making that nation what it is. The Declaration of Independence, the Magna Carta. Okay, Magna Carta is not necessarily from the US, but then even in the declaration of the Magna Carta, you see that this was a fundamentally Christian, inspired by Christianity, that all men are created equal in the sight of God. So the world as it is better. Being a Christian world, I believe the world would be a much better place if everybody was Christian in it. Of course, nobody's being compelled to be a Christian, but I strongly believe, based on the evidence that I've seen, overwhelming evidence, that Christianity is the force for good in the world. Look at all the good, talk about the history of hospitals. Christianity was central to the establishment of hospitals. Look at the abolition of slave trade. Christianity was central to that. Look at even a nation like Nigeria. Most of the schools a lot of us went to, these are schools that started off as missionary schools. A lot of people learn to read by reading the Bible. So imagine if all of this were not in place. Nigeria would be a worse off place if it were not for Christianity. That's the fact. And Christianity gets a lot of bad rap, sometimes deserved, but I think a lot of the piling is undeserved. I think Christianity deserves better.